Okay, so on Claude, it is not possible to generate a picture, and this is very different than ChatGPT and Gemini. So the best you can do is generating an SVG file, which is not exactly a normal image format. But fortunately, it is possible to utilize something called MCP to add an image generation and even image editing capability into the desktop version of Claude. Like in this example, I have the Gemini Nano Banana model on the desktop version of Claude, and I can get that because of a feature called MCP, or Model Context Protocol. So basically, there is a protocol that is used by the AI model to communicate with other tools or perhaps other AI models. And with that feature, we can generate and even edit images directly from the Claude desktop interface. So if you want to use Claude a lot and you want to have an image editing and image generation capability, especially using the Nano Banana model, then let me show you how you can install or get this capability. So first, you need to download the desktop version of Claude. You can navigate to claude.ai and then log into your account and then go to the downloads menu and then download the desktop version of Claude. Now, after that, another tool that you need to install is called Node.js. You can go to Google and search for Node.js, and you can go to the home page and then you can click the download button and install the program normally on your computer. Of course, you can skip this process if you already have Node.js installed on your device. But basically, after you have installed the desktop version of Claude and you have installed Node.js, now we can start adding the Gemini image generation and image editing capability directly in Claude. Okay, so here in the desktop version of Claude, you can navigate to the cowork section. So that's feature that we are going to use. And after that, we want to add the MCP capability, the particular MCP code that will call the Gemini model. So here in the cowork section, you can click on your profile and then let's navigate to settings. Let's scroll down a bit, and then on the left side of the screen, you can click developer and then click edit config. And it should open this directory on your computer. So there's a file called Claude desktop config.json, and you want to open it. And you can use any code editor, but in this case, I'm going to open it via Notepad. That's not a problem. And you will see a code that probably looks like this, or maybe a lot longer depending on your configuration on Claude. But basically, we have to modify this. We have to add something into this. Now, if you know how to code, I think it's going to be an easy process. But if you're not a developer, you're not a coding expert, I think that can be quite difficult and challenging. So the code that we are going to add looks like this. So this is the code, and we have to combine it into that configuration JSON file. Now, the easiest way to combine these two codes together is, well, by asking AI to do it. So I guess I'm going to ask Claude to modify these two codes. I guess I'm going to copy this. And don't worry, I'm going to put this code in the description down below. So I'm going to use Claude. I mean, you can even use ChatGPT if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to put that code first, and then I want to tell AI to please insert that code into this code. And then after that, I'm going to copy this code. Okay, and click send. So that's one very simple way to modify it. All right, and there you go. So this is the final code. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to go back to that notepad, the configuration file. Let me just delete it, and then right click, and then paste, click file, and then click save. Now, we're not done yet because we still need to enter the API key. So this is the API key for Gemini, and to get that, you can navigate to aistudio.google.com and you can log into your account. Now, if you have a subscription on Google or Gemini, especially the Pro or the Ultra variation, then you should be able to get either $10 or $100 of free credits from Google that you can claim, and then you can use that credits to access certain models from Google. So if you're interested, then you can check the tutorial on the internet on how you can claim that. But basically, if you have the credits or if you have some API keys enabled, then you can navigate to AI Studio and then go to this menu that says Get API Keys, and then I'm going to click Create API Key. Let's call this one Claude Image. Then you can select the project, click Create Key, and I'm going to copy the key that was generated. Okay, so this is the code or the API key. Now let me just go back to that configuration file. I'm going to delete this section. Then Ctrl-V, click File again, and click Save. Now I'm going to close this. And after that, you need to restart Claude. So I'm going to close Claude, and I highly recommend to check your task manager because there is a good chance that Claude is still running. So you want to make sure that Claude is no longer there in the list of items or apps that's running on your computer. This is very important. So I'm going to end Claude. Okay, now it is gone. And after that, I'm going to start Claude again. And I highly recommend to check if the MCP, the Gemini MCP has been installed correctly on Claude. To check that, you can navigate to your profile again, settings, and then go to the oh, sorry about that, it just restarted. So apparently Claude just detected a new MCP, so it just restarted itself. Sometimes that can happen, but that is totally normal. So let me just go back to settings and then developer. And there you go. So Gemini image is installed and running pretty nice. Now let me just go back. And then in the cover section, you can start a new chat. So I guess I'm going to select a folder. This is where the picture will be stored. Click allow. And after that, you can just describe the image that you want Claude to send, sorry, the image prompt that you want Claude to send to the Gemini Nano Banana model. Now let me try perhaps this prompt. So let me try this, and later I'll show you how you can do image editing. Now just wait. Actually, there is a good chance that Claude might not be honoring your request because under the hood, Claude has no idea or it has no knowledge that it can generate a picture. So sometimes you might want to nudge it a bit. You want to mention something like use Gemini model or use Gemini Nano Banana to create a picture. Okay, so I got this permission request. I'm going to allow it. So it's just Claude asking me to run that prompt to be sent to the Gemini AI image model. And just wait, because after that, there is one thing here that we want to review. We want to make sure that Claude is following our request, because sometimes there is a good chance that Claude might be using a different model. Like Gemini Nano Banana has multiple variations. It has, I think, the Pro variation, the first Nano Banana. There's also Nano Banana 2, and even the image model. And that's actually a bit difficult to control unless if you specify the name of the model. But there's actually an easier way to make the image request, the image generation from Claude to be a lot more consistent, and that is by creating a skill, which I will talk about later. But for now, just wait until Claude has generated or sent the image generation prompt, and there you go. Now the image cannot be shown directly in the chat window, unfortunately, but you can see that in the folder that you selected, you can see the image that was created by the Gemini model. So this is the picture, and I guess I'm going to give you a full preview. And yeah, this is the image. I think it looks really good. So let me just go back here. I think it was using Gemini 3 Pro, which is a very expensive version of Gemini, and also it selects this aspect ratio and also the resolution. So this setting is arbitrary, so Claude just decided the setting for me. But if you want to have a very specific setting, then you can create a skill file. Let me show you how. So I'm going to start a new chat, and this is the prompt that I'm going to use You can also use your own prompt, it's up to you, but basically I want to tell Claude that I want to use the Gemini 3.1 flash image preview, or basically the Nano Banana 2, and then this is the default aspect ratio and default resolution, unless if in the prompt I specify different settings. So this is my request and I'm going to send it. And just wait until it finishes creating the skill file, and then you can save that skill, and the next time you want to create or edit image, then it will follow the instruction or the skills that were generated earlier. Okay, now just wait, and I guess I'll just skip a while and I'll show you the next steps that you need to do. Okay, so after that, I got this image gen skill file. Now, sometimes Claude might just install that immediately, but sometimes you might want to manually install the skill file. And to do that, you can navigate to customize and then go to skills, and then you can click this plus button, click create skills, and then you can upload the skill file that was created by Claude earlier. But regardless, basically make sure that you got the image generation skill that specify about what Claude need to do when the user request to generate or edit a picture using the Gemini model. Anyway, here, if you want to edit the photo, you can actually you have to provide the access for Claude where the photo is being stored. Like in this case, I have a photo in the downloads folder. So this is a tulip photo and I'm going to edit that. So you cannot upload the picture into the chat window. You can only tell Claude where the photo is stored and also give it permission to access that photo. Okay, I'm going to select that downloads folder, and I guess I just want to change the color from maybe pink to royal blue. So this is my prompt. Edit this photo and change the color of the tulips to royal blue. Well, I forgot to mention that you might want to mention the name of the file in your prompt. That is quite important, so Claude will know exactly the item that you are referring to. Okay, and then I'm going to send the message, and you'll see that this time around, it is not going to be randomly selecting an AI image model. It will just select the specific Nano Banana version that was described in the skill file. So yeah, we'll see that it's going to be using, okay, the image gen skill, pretty good. And in the prompt, let me just wait for the prompt. Yeah, okay, now it is generating the image. Yeah, you'll see that it is going to be using the model that was specified in the skill file. And there you go. So Gemini 3.1 flash image preview, that's exactly the model that was mentioned in the skill file. So that's pretty nice. Okay, I'm going to click allow and just wait for the result. So yeah, perhaps the biggest issue that I can see right now is you're not able to see the image directly in the chat window, and also you cannot just drag and drop the image where you want to edit the photo using Gemini Nano Banana. You can only refer the name of the file and you give access to Claude on where the photo was stored. So it's not exactly straightforward, but if you are not making images a lot and perhaps you want to use Claude more often than Gemini, then I think this is a clever workaround. So it is also possible to use other image models, and hey, you can even use a local image model like Flux or Stable Diffusion, and that's actually something that I've talked about on my video on my channel, so you can check them out. But basically, yeah, this is the process to connect the Gemini Nano Banana model into the Claude desktop version. Alright, so unfortunately I wasn't able to use the Gemini 3.1 flash image preview, aka Gemini Nano Banana 2, and that's because there is a timeout. And honestly, as someone who has been using the Nano Banana model via API a lot, I can tell you that yeah, it actually happens quite often. So yeah, eventually I have to use a different model, which is the Pro variation, which is actually a bit better, although it is more expensive. And in this case, it is able to modify the picture. So again, this is the original picture, and then this is the modified version using Gemini Nano Banana via Claude Desktop. So it looks pretty good. It is very much consistent, and yeah, this is something that you can have on the desktop version of Gemini. And again, all the prompts and also the code that I use in this video will be available in the description down below. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. I wish you a great day ahead.